Aloha. 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 Mm.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, be right there.
Okie dokie.
How are you?
I'm good. Can't complain.
Ah, it's a great world we live in, isn't it?
It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing what's going on, and there's and such a lot of good stuff going on. And you know, the power of love is incredible.
It is, and consciousness is what's really amazing, right? And everything is made of consciousness.
Yeah, it definitely is a lot easier to live in the moment than in the past and the future.
Especially when the moment is so demanding.
Well,
Okay.
I think if we have fierce intent to do good, we're okay.
The moment is like an angry wife.
It's like what?
An angry wife. Very demanding.
Yeah, it's so much easier to be loving than it is to be cantankerous.
I guess it depends on who you're talking to, but yes, I would agree.
Well, I'm not sure that it does. I think that, assholes are assholes and,
Yep. But
um,
they can be nice too, right? It's really a the vibration of the moment.
I think what love is more powerful than anything else,
Absolutely. Yeah.
with humans are concerned.
Yeah.
Um, I, uh, I, I really love the light of Sophia. It's really given me uh, a stronger sense of purpose.
I can't see you, by the way. Do you have your
Oh,
thing
really?
blocked?
No, I can see myself.
I can't see anything.
Huh. Uh, let's see. Why?
I can hear you, but you're
How's that?
not yet.
Huh.
Maybe should I leave and redo it here?
No, it's probably me because I was messing around
Oh, there
with
you are. There you are. Okay, I got you now. I had to back up and then go into the different link. Okay, good. We're good.
all right. Um, I really enjoy our relationship because you've really incredibly added to my being.
I'm
You
so
know,
glad. Yay.
you know, I've been growing a lot lately in a lot of areas, and um, it's 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 okay that there's so many dumb fucks. You know, I just I've decided that I just need to be a lover and not a hater.
Cantankerous. Oh,
Yeah. And I'm convinced that the sheep that follow the light um, uh, find green pastures, and most of the sheep stay stuck in the brown grass and are fucked.
well, I think the way I look at it, it's not so much that they're fucked. They've just chosen like a lifetime in this round that is safe for in their mind.
Well, they'll
And
die. They'll die. They'll die. The fact is that with no shepherd, you die.
right, but I
If
still
you're
believe
if
that
you're a
their
sheep, if you're
soul
that
is
ignorant.
yeah, but their soul is still orchestrating the 10% consciousness in the lifetime. So it might be a bad dream they're running. You know, it's not a great lifetime, but that's because they have limited prarabdha karma still. They need to do better action or actions that then liberate them. And they're not ready for that yet because their frequency isn't high enough. That's how I would put it. Like their frequency is still matching them with realities that are pretty much on par with them. And if they're assholes, there's an asshole reality happening, right? It's just a freak. It's how Einstein said. It's whatever you're a match for. That's what's going to happen. So they haven't bumped themselves high enough yet to attract a more expanded experience because they're not really ready for it yet. Like they're
So is
still
that a temperature or an energy force or a magnetic force?
well. It's like I think our soul wants to experience everything. Like if you're a tyrant in some life, it's not punishment that in another life you happen to be subjected, maybe even to yourself, right? Maybe the tyrant is you in another life. And so now you experience being thrown in jail. So now you get to understand why it's bad to be a tyrant, because now you're experiencing what it's like to be tyrannized. So I think the soul, it's not a punishment game, it's a balancing act that you're going to attract the next thing that you need to learn, right? Whatever that is. And there's astrological times and segments where we're in a Rahu cycle, which means that your learning process is kind of like a war, and another time you'll be in a Jupiter cycle where it seems like you don't have to do anything. Money just falls into your hands and beautiful women or whatever it is. It's just like you're in that karma flow of you get all the goods. But in other times it's the pendulum is in this more drier, more lack, it's like warfaring. And all of these are part of our experience, right? We can be angry as hell, we can be enlightened, we can be peaceful, we can be a dick, we can be enchanting and creative. It's like we're exploring all of these avenues over thousands of lifetimes. Do we ever talk about the three karmas, at least the way the Indians understand it, for thousands of years?
Well, if we did, I don't remember it.
Well, here's the quick version. There's the storehouse, meaning it's like the Akashic records. It's all of your lifetime files, let's say, are in a kind of a non-local, it's called Sanchita karma. It translates
How
to.
the shit do you remember this stuff? That's incredible. Okay,
Well, because I work with it. I only remember the stuff
no,
I activate, but
yeah, but
Sanchita karma is important to understand karma.
okay,
San,
just hold on a second.
yeah,
I got to get my my notes.
sure. I find this very helpful analogy of what I'm about to tell you.
Okay, so what should I call this?
The three types of karma.
Three types of karma. Okay.
First one is Sanchita,
Oh, hold on,
Sanchit.
hold on, hold on, hold on. I don't type that fast. One finger. Three types. Three types of karma. First one,
Sanchita, Sanchita, Sanchita.
Sanchita.
Yeah, and then put a dash and say, and the translation is storehouse.
Okay. Okay. Second one.
Second one is, and after that, you could put in parentheses like Akashic records.
Maybe you could. What kind of
Akash,
record?
Akashic. You've never heard of the Akashic records?
No.
Oh, you need to Google that. Um,
Okay.
or
Spell,
chat,
but you have to
chat,
spell it first.
yeah. Akash, Akasha. Akasha.
Okay, just like it sounds. Okay.
But you could put an IC, like Akashic, make it an adjective, and put records. And that is the halls of Amenti, meaning they say that everything you've ever done is stored in the cloud, right? The cloud
Yeah.
would be like Sanchita karma.
Halls of what?
Amenti.
Okay.
This is we're talking like new age, astral jargon. But
Okay.
but put in parentheses, what did I just say? What was the last
Alas
one?
oh, it came out Alaskan. What should it have been? A storehouse, Alaska.
Akashic records.
Okay, hold on. A K
AKA
S S H A.
SHIC in this case. Akashic Akasha means space in Sanskrit. The Akash.
AKASHIC. That doesn't sound right.
Well, Akashic, as if you turn it into an
Okay.
adjective, but
And
otherwise it's
it's
Akasha.
Sanchita is Sanchita, right?
Yeah, and it's like put in parentheses the cloud, like in the
Okay.
computer,
Okay.
like
Okay.
it's all stored in the cloud. So your
Okay.
Sanchita karma is it's the cloud of your karma, right? The storehouse of all your karma.
Okay.
Then what your soul does for this, let's say this lifetime, it assembles a little batch. It's sort of like a happy meal of all these things that you need for this life. You're going to get a body. You're going to be in North America. You're going to be very interested in people like Sudama. You're going to be interested in consciousness and AI, and all of these things come with your package, right? It's like you get and that's called prarabdha karma. That's the second karma. Pra, and then Rabda. Prarabdha. Prarabdha.
One more time. Your package is called what?
Pra,
PRA.
and then Ra. It's like a second Ra, pra, and then Bda, doing business as.
Paradabda.
Parabda.
Parabda.
Prarabdha. Prarabdha karma.
Parabda.
Put karma after it. Prarabdha karma. That's your soul package for this life. It's like a sheath. Write down sheath. A sheath of karma. It's sort of like Mission Impossible. You get your instructions.
So, do you get that? You get those instructions?
Oh yeah. Well, your whole life is a package. Your incarnation is the instructions. In other words, let's make a jump for a minute. Don't write this down. Just talk to me for a minute. Let's say you're talking about perception for a minute, right? I need your attention.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's say there's a million bits of information flying around in your brain, right?
Yeah.
But then Virginia says, "Oh dear, can you make me a cup of coffee?" And so all of your thinking, all of your thoughts, your billions of lifetimes, whatever it is now focused in a very narrow bandwidth to go make the coffee. You would not be able to do that if you didn't have prarabdha karma limiting you. Because otherwise you'd be an expanded mess. You'd just be like, and there'd be nobody there to talk to hardly. You'd just be like, because there'd be so much going on. You couldn't possibly process anything, right? So the fact that you can concentrate is why we have a body, why we have limitations, because the limitations give you what you need. A guitar is
This is freaking me out because I had this. I mean, this is really weird because I've had the last 3 nights. I've had a whole lot of activity of working on the X Prize and coming up with lots of answers and um, what you're just talking about. I've been really have had all this shit to do, and um, I keep doing what I want to do instead of what I need to do, and
That's okay though,
yeah.
because you're doing what you love.
Yeah, exactly. And my purpose is, I know exactly what my purpose is for the rest of my life. I know exactly where I'm going. And I know from time to time, God tells me um, to relax
Right.
and to just listen,
Hmm.
and I haven't had a negative thought about anybody for quite a while now.
Nice.
And even the biggest assholes that we all know, I, you know, I see that there's a plan, and it's not to dislike it or to be negative. It's just to love and do. And I can only do what I can do, and the most power I have is to love.
Right.
And what I'm trying to do is to take all the energy that the world is providing and put it in the package together into communities.
Hmm.
And take all this money and power and compute and incredible stuff that's going in the cosmic sphere and that Musk is doing and others like him, and putting it into communities where we can survive better and live in the Ohana lifestyle
Hmm.
and in love, and it mostly in equity and agency and equality, basically, for the period that we're in abundance for all, and we haven't figured out how to get it to everybody. And I got it. I figured it out. I know how to do it,
Great.
and that's what I'm doing. And
So, yeah. So let's say, so you got the analogy that your brain functions as a limiter, meaning you're crunching down all this information to come up with
well,
a
I didn't get to
solution.
the point that I was trying to make.
Oh,
The,
okay.
the point that I'm trying to make is um, that I made was today. I woke up with all this brilliant solution because I've been having hard time with the numbers to make equity work in this community. And I figured it out this morning, and I came down to the fact that I had to figure out a better way of what ChatGPT's been telling me that I need to put it all down and transcribe it and then and organize it. And I've tried the different systems for doing that, and I finally found out what I need. And the reality is that I need the money to buy the stupid little thing, and it's not expensive. Um, um, and the fact is that the most important thing for me is to get some money, um, refinance my refinance my condo, and do a whole bunch of other things that are in that thing. So I came out with, I'm not going to do anything more until I do the most important thing, and that is to deal with the thing I least like to do, and that is to take care of my budget and to finish the application for a refinance. So, I had all these things to do to get the lending company to look uh, at the loan application because my credit's gone so bad. Um, and it took me about 2 hours to get it done, you know, and it's
But you
not
did it.
done, but
You
I
did it.
but I did it. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
So that's the third level of karma. The third level of karma is called agami. Agami.
Agamy.
No, AG like
Uh-huh.
Attorney General, and then AMI like ami, like love in French. AGAMI.
Is the third.
Yeah, and it translates to coming from the future, kind of like, or like, I mean, it was like future coming. So what it really means is it's the actions you're doing now, right? You're from your sanchita karma, your soul took a parabdha karma arrow and launched you into this lifetime. Parabdha means already in motion, already happening. You could add that to the trans. Sanchita means storehouse. Prarabdha means already in motion. It's like the arrow of your life. You can't do much about it. You're in motion, right? You got born. You didn't think you had anything to do with it, but you probably did. You probably chose every detail. Um, and so that's your prarabdha karma, is your current lifetime trajectory. But if your prarabdha karma is like a river of destiny, your agami karma is your ability to swim left, right, north, or south. right? Within the river of destiny, you have free will to move around the cabin, right? Your prarabdha karma is like your flight to LA. But while you're on the airplane, you can go to the bathroom, you can chat with the passengers, you could flirt with the stewardess, right? That's your agami karma. Because whatever you do then, you're going to suffer the consequences very shortly. If you drop a rock on your foot, it's going to hurt, right? It's going to hurt in 2 seconds. It's not something waiting for the next lifetime. You understand what I mean by agami there?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not ready for testing.
Right. But in other words, it's what you're doing right now. Let's say calling me is agami karma. Because if you didn't call me, we wouldn't have had this conversation and you'd be in a slightly different trajectory, right? So you change your trajectory by calling me, but you're changing your trajectory all the time. We all are, right? You could change your trajectory by getting this work done, like you said, because you hadn't done it before and it was causing you stress, right? And so then, in other words, I'm just saying you can do anything. That's your karmic ability, right? You could stand on your head. You could jump off a cliff. You could call Virginia. That's not karma from another life. That's what you're choosing to do now. But the body you have to do it with comes from another life. Because your other lifetimes shape your prarabdha karma. Right? So what you're doing now is going to shape your next life if you have one. So if you help the world figure out how to be abundant, your next life you could be Jesus. You know, I mean, meaning you could really bump up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because you'd be so much more expanded than maybe you are in this life or the last life. So basically there's 3 energies. There's the storehouse of the cloud. It's when you, then the prarabdha is when you download from the cloud a certain thing, like your lifetime right now. You've downloaded it from the cloud. And within your lifetime, of this lifetime, you can do whatever you want. Now, even if it's destiny, you still have the illusion of free will. Right? Even if God's doing it.
Hold on, stop.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even if God's doing everything, you still think you're doing it. Which means, for all intents and purposes, you're doing it. Even if God's doing it, meaning even if it's destined, from your perspective, it's free will. And even if it's not free will, you have the illusion of free will. Because you can still do whatever you want, even if it's destined. You understand what I'm saying?
oh yeah, but I don't believe that.
Well, what do you believe?
I believe that God's in charge.
Right, which it is. But
Yeah.
you can still call me or not call me.
But I see not doing God's will as separation from the whole.
Yeah, and that would be the prarabdha, that would be the the agami karma of that moment. You're choosing not to listen to God. You made a choice to block it.
Or to not love.
Or yeah, that's all agami karma, meaning in this moment, you're doing something, whatever it is, good or bad, and that's going to create the next result. If you throw a rock at Virginia, you'll be arrested. You can almost be guaranteed of it, right? If you
Yeah.
do a certain action. If you jump off a cliff, you'll probably be dead. So
Yeah.
certain actions have a lot of consequence, but you're still making a choice in that
So
moment.
how do you deal with emotions then?
Emotions are just happening, but it's really it's really your response to them that's important. Like 2 people could get mad, but one person could get mad for 2 seconds and realize it's ridiculous to be mad, and the other person could stay mad for hours because they're not that smart about it.
But isn't it a question of what you do rather than what you think?
Well, what's the difference? I mean, if you're thinking something to do, you're doing it. Um, I don't know if you want to make too much of a separation. Thinking is doing. If you're thinking a thought, you're doing something. You're thinking about the color purple instead of the color pink. You know, it's like you're still doing something with your mind, and that has a
But
consequence.
what about meditation? Isn't that the separation between using your heart and soul to make decisions and thinking? Because thinking doesn't do shit.
No, 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 it does a lot. You've got a bad rap on thinking. There's better, more intuitive ways of operating, but thinking is very powerful. When you think of Virginia, she's going to start thinking about you because
Really?
you're telepathing her. Yeah, all our thoughts are telepathic. You're affecting everyone with your thoughts, not just you. That's I could say that that's a 100% statement. I not only do I believe it, my whole business is based on that. There's no way I could telepathically remote heal people if I wasn't thinking about them, concentrating on them.
That's really that is definitely not what I've been believing.
Well, then change it because it's a misperception. If you think
Okay,
your thoughts
so
are ridiculous, then that's ridiculous. Because your thoughts are some of the most powerful things happening in your field. Because everyone can feel them, right? If you start thinking really bad thoughts about me, all of a sudden you just decide, who is this idiot? What am I? I'm going to be like, whoa, what just happened to him? I'm going to feel that energy of, whoa, even if you don't say a word,
so
I'll be,
do you feel that way about Sinclair's girlfriend?
no, no, she's fine. She just has a shadow issue. She doesn't understand yet.
A shadow, did you say?
Well, she doesn't, in my opinion,
Uh-huh.
she's not in touch with her shadow. She thinks she's perfect, that everything she does is everyone else is wrong. But she doesn't see her shadow. She doesn't see the part of her that is ridiculously stupid about some things. And so that's just her, narcissism or whatever it is. She can't see that. That's shadow material. That's Jungian shadow.
Do you have a shadow?
Oh, everybody has shadow. Yeah. My shadow
How do
is
you deal with it?
you don't need to worry about it. It's sort of like this. You've carried a 2x4 on your shoulder before, right?
Yeah,
And if you turn to the right quickly, you could take out three people with the other end of the 2x4
right.
because you went this way and the 2x4 hit those people over there.
Yeah.
That's shadow. Your unconsciousness about the 2x4. Like we don't realize if we drop a bomb on Iran, maybe that kills 100 people. We don't know the karma consequences of all that, right? It's like that's shadow. We think, let's just blow them up, easy. But no, that action might have created their own destruction in the next life, right? They don't know that yet. They don't think that's the case. They're idiots because their shadow is so thick. Like Hitler's shadow was so big, it took out 30 million people or whatever it was, 6 million people. And Stalin's was even worse. That's shadow, where you don't know what you're doing. You don't understand the effect you're having on the world because you're so in your own trip. People are more
How does that
close.
work? How does that work on the opposite, on the love side, and somebody like the Dalai Lama?
Well, the Dalai Lama has some shadow karma with the Chinese, obviously, but he's worked it out where they don't kill him, meaning he's not a threat to them. Whereas if he had a really dark shadow, you know what I mean? If it was like
Yeah.
there's people who they don't even know that they're killers, really. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? They think they're fine until the moment comes, and then they end up killing someone, and they go ooh, ooh, ooh. But their shadow is so strong. They're unconscious people. So Jung is all about you eat the shadow. Some people smoke a lot of cigarettes and they eat their shadow that way. right? You sort of do stuff that, like, you go into the ash pit and you sort of work it out. But the Jung is all about making your unconscious conscious, right? That's the individuation process of attaining, individuation, higher consciousness. Is you have to purify yourself. You have to do the yoga. You have to do the practices. You have to do stuff that takes you out of your unconsciousness, makes you more conscious,
What
right?
was the individual? What was that word?
Individuation.
Individuation. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that happens when you're 13 and 14 in a certain psychological way from your parents. But there's also another kind of individuation that Jung is talking about, which is uh, that you know, uh, sorry, I just lost my train of thought because someone just texted me. But yeah, it's like you concentrate on what you need to do to clear the stupidity, right? You do wake yourself up. Um, so shadow is like that girlfriend of his is
Is he
so
is he is she the same person that travels with him all over the world?
yeah, yeah.
And
She's a very
they're not married?
they're not no, they're not married. Um, she's
So
very
he has his son by another person.
yeah, yeah. He has
Or
a wife in Australia, has several kids.
yeah.
But so this lady is a very accomplished chef. If you want to get something done, call this gal because
Yeah.
she's like an incredible little Aries operator. She can make it happen like nobody's business. But because she's so good at what she does, she thinks that she's God, meaning that she can do no wrong. And so when she's abusing her sister, and I pointed out that it's her shadow, she doesn't want to hear it. So
Sure.
I get fired, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going into a territory that, oh no, she doesn't want to look at that.
So is he a perfectionist?
Oh, absolutely. Over the
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Triple, like, perfectionist.
So I'm an Aries.
Yeah. Well, Aries like to start things, but they don't finish stuff. Um,
Uh-huh.
like my mom.
Yeah.
So, but you're the Energizer bunny, right? You get it going. Um,
Why don't I finish it?
um, it depends on the rest of your chart.
Why don't you take a look at it?
Send me let me write down your
Because I'd like to know. I don't want to not finish this,
hang on one second. Let me get a oh, here's my pen. Okay.
and I want to win this X Prize.
Okay, so um all right, so give me your coordinate. When were you born and where?
I don't know what
April,
time.
April
Mar
what?
March 29th,
Okay.
1946. I don't know what time.
Okay, you can find if you want your chart done properly, you need to call the Bureau of County Records where you were born. Where were you born?
Oakland, California.
If you call the Bureau of County Records, they will for $10 mail you your birth certificate copy and will tell you what
I
time
can't
you
get that with ChatGPT?
Oh, maybe.
Sure.
Try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is new world. Um,
Yeah.
because if you have the time of your birth, we can figure out the houses.
The
Otherwise,
houses? What
well,
is the
there's
das
12 houses.
das is that?
There's 12 houses in a chart.
Okay.
You don't know astrology, but there's
No,
12 houses
no, I'm
in a
going
chart.
to an astrologist and I don't know what he does.
Ah, well, it's good to research that. And I can explain to you about it if you need me to.
Well, yeah, I want you to do my chart.
Okay. The ChatGPT will do your chart.
Okay. But I
Um,
need
and it will probably
well,
figure
I
out your
want you,
birth
but
time.
I want you to interpret it.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's no good to me
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
without
And you can ChatGPT will also interpret it, but I can also give you my 2 cents, which is more
yeah.
human. Yeah.
No, it's more it's a how many years did you spend in India?
Well, I've been there 5 times, so
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 2 years total.
Yeah. And you sort of followed around a, a guru, right?
Yeah, I've been doing healing work for lifetimes. I'm this
Yeah.
is this isn't something I learned in a workshop. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? This
Yeah.
is something I showed up on the planet to do this because my whole astrology chart reflects that.
Yeah.
I can
And
explain
and
that another
and
time.
what are your brothers? What 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 kind of relationship do you have with your brothers? Or how do you describe are they
Um,
from the same, have they had any of the same lives or?
well, my brother Duncan, whose birthday it is today,
Huh.
uh, he's a he's a Taurus, May 14th. He lives in San Francisco. He met my guru, as did Philip, but Andrew didn't. And so the two that did are way more inclined to understand me a little better in that world. Duncan especially, because for whatever reason, he's in the health healing. He's more of a
Hmm.
sports coach guy. But
Uh-huh.
that there's a physical therapy healing realm there. That's not my specialty. But
Yeah.
he's more the he went to the Olympics
Yeah.
or he was an oarsman, so he's a jock, right? So he
Yeah.
he does jock healing, right? So he's pretty tuned in. My brother Philip's wife is very tuned into herbs and healing and nutrition. So she keeps him kind of game. Whereas Andrew, he consented to my working on his eye, which I helped him once when he had an operation. But I don't think he really believes in God, or I don't know. I think he's a Pisces, but he's kind of, he's more of a materialist Pisces.
And
And
what sign are you?
I'm Cancerian. We're the best
Cancer.
healers.
Uh-huh.
We're the mother sign. We nurture. We have shell too, so we don't get like burnt out. Like Pisces and Scorpio.
I think my mother was a Cancer and my dad was a Leo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so the mother energy, the Cancerian energy, if you look back at the precession of the equinoxes, after the flood 12,000 years ago, there's 2,000 years every sign, right? We're moving in the age of Aquarius out of 2,000 years of Pisces, right? It goes backwards. And so if you keep going back, you go back the 2,000 years after the flood was the Cancerian 2,000 years, and it was run by women. It's the matriarchal period that they talk about, excuse me, when there was no war.
What period was that?
Matriarchal.
What sign?
Cancer. It was like the age of Cancer. 10,000 or 12,000 BC, or 10,000 BC to 8,000, or whatever that time was after the flood. You had 2,000 years of peace, and that was ruled by Cancerian energy. So you had this motherhood, right? The matriarchy. So Cancerians, if you ask, if you look at all the signs, which one is the most nurturing? Is the Cancerians. They're the healers. Jesus was a Cancer, in my opinion. He was born in July, not December. December is a date they use for the solstice to sort of build on, right? All that solstice energy, they just turn it into Jesus's birthday and make it the 25th. It's like, but it's really a solstice calendar they're talking about there. Their coming of the light is traditionally December 21st, right? So that's a good time for Jesus type energy to be embedded. Um, but yeah, so Cancerian energy is
Did you
healing.
say 10 to 12,000? What was that too?
Well, evidently 12,000 years ago was the flood, right? Noah, that whole period.
Yeah.
When the flood ended, when the icebergs melted and then froze up again, or whatever they did, uh, there was another regenerative period. Water cleans up the mess of Lemuria and Atlantis and all the whatever the dark shit is that goes down. Water comes in and floods everything, and then it gets better again, right? It's like water is the salve. So the flood, these periodic floods, clean up the earth, basically, right? They melt everything back down, and so we had a new period of after the flood run by women.
So why are we going from this era of um, we're in the midst of going from the era of um, education the to the era of purpose, I think.
Well, if we look at it from a astrological point of view, Aquarius is an air sign, and we're moving from this sort of we've just had a phase, a Capricornian phase recently, not the big 2,000 year cycles, but smaller cycles where the Industrial Revolution, it's very much about warfaring on the earth, like it's earth energy explosions. Now we're moving into if warfare is happening, it's happening up in the air, right? I mean, they're dropping bombs, but it's drone warfare, it's telecommunications, it's, like taking out a bank on the internet, you know what I mean? It's like the warfaring is not about blowing people up, although the people get blown up, but not like the Second World War where 30 million people got blown up. What you're seeing now is people's businesses being blown up, or their lifestyle, or their finances. It's more in the air. It's more mental. It's less physical destruction. The
Well,
houses will.
it's interesting looking at um, the ability for um, $1,500 drone to blow up a $5 million airplane.
Or
Uh,
a $50 billion
yeah,
aircraft carrier.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
It's
um,
asymmetrical warfare now.
yeah. Well, I just changed the plan for who I want to be the major financer for the Hawaii project um, because Elon is developing this A-15 chip, which will work on 250 watts and will be able to be put in the robots, um, and work without the internet and without the whole communication thing, and he'll be able to make million of them a year. Um, because if you look at the the way he engineers things, he uses thousands of parts less than anybody else. I mean, it's just incredible. And he just switched on a dime from building cars to building robots, just in the last month. And,
Yeah.
you know, and they're gonna he's gotten, I mean, he was so brilliant to go work for Trump and get all of his permits and legal shit taken care of by the government so he can launch these tens of thousands of
So we can go to
satellites,
Mars and
you know.
destroy us all with robots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No, but he doesn't want to do that. He's a lover. He'd rather make love than war for sure. I mean, have you read the book about him?
no.
He, he's had a he's come from a very abused background in South Africa, and he suffers from not Tourette's, but what's it called? Um, it's said not an autoimmune disease. It's like that, but he most people that don't listen to his podcasts and listen to what he says don't know him. You know, he's really a good man.
Hmm.
And he just, I mean, he has used Mr. Trump like a Swiss clock, you know, and he's made $1 trillion doing it, you know, and I'm quite convinced that he'll buy my program and do it 100-fold. Once we have it, the first one in completely developed, he'll do it by the hundreds all over the world
Nice.
and in space
Cool.
because it's all about love.
It's all about love.
Yeah,
Good. So hopefully they'll understand that they don't need to like have a singularity on the material level because God already exists as one.
right.
You know, they need to get a little more spiritual. But yeah, it's cool. Um, so how you
Have
doing?
we, have we used up our time?
No, 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 no. I'm just saying, just to sort of bring us all back to this moment and
Oh,
like wherever we
I
want to like integrate. Um,
I would leave it up to your curiosity to lead me.
okay, so now, okay, I'll just roll then. So the three karmas, storehouse. No, no, don't write anything down. Let's get it up here. Just get it up here. You've
Okay.
got it written down.
I don't know if I do though. I want to review it just when you say
Okay,
something.
okay, just review it and then we'll chat.
No, no, I want to. It's Sanchita, and what's the second one? Pa-
Prarabdha.
Prarabdha, and
Uh-huh.
the third one is Agami.
Yeah. So the translation is storehouse, what's in motion, and what's coming. Just think like that. There's the great
Okay.
storehouse of all your lives. There's the little package of this one that's already happening. You can't stop it. You could go jump off a bridge, but you'd probably live because unless if God wants you alive, you'll be alive, right? Kind of thing. Like the package is under divine supervision. But within your package, lifetime, you have the ability to drive all over the road, right? Meaning you can steer left, right, up, down. You have the free will of whatever you're inspired to do within that prarabdha package, right? But the prarabdha package determines the shape of your nose, how your voice sounds, whether you have hair here, there, or not, what colors you like, right? These things are molecules already programmed, basically. That's the idea that what were they programmed by? Your actions in previous lives led you to this version of yourself, which might be the most refined version to date that your soul has in order to hook up with Elon and do all these great things, right? So you could say, when James Bond goes to see M,
Hmm.
at
Yeah.
the beginning of the movie,
Yeah.
and what does M do? He goes, "Oh, here's the pen that if you do this, you'll shoot the bad guy, and here's the thing on your tie that that kills them if they've got your arms, right? You put your chin and it knocks them out." He gives them all of the tools, right? And it's always every movie it's a different cool tool. Right in the one about Japan, it was little Nelly. It was just this little flying helicopter that was like about this big, right? That he could be
Yeah.
in. So it's sort of like your lifetime is like a James Bond movie where God armors you up, right? To for everything you need in this life. You got the invisible ink pen and the Aston Martin and the beautiful girls, whatever it is. You've got some agreement with the divine that this lifetime God gave you what you needed to do what you wanted to do, right? That's what your assembly package is. That's the prarabdha karma. It's sort of like your M provisions, right? Everything you need, you got. It's like a backpacking trip, and God gives you the backpack with all the goodies, right? But then when you're walking off into the nature land, you could you have all these choice menus within the Prarabdha Karma package, right? It's like a Venn diagram, and inside it, you can go north, south, east, west, forward, back. You can,
That's the way I feel about it.
yeah, that's your Agami Karma. That's where in this moment you can choose what you want to focus on.
Yeah, I find it that I'm alone um, um, with with myself when it comes to that kind of thinking,
Hmm?
because most people my age aren't there.
The culture doesn't teach what we're teaching, what I'm teaching.
No.
But you can find these jewels
Yeah, for
in the
sure. And I
rut,
say
right?
moments, find moments of them, but I also find a lot of them um, with the light of my eyes um, and my heart um, um, talking to people um, who respond to my affection.
Yeah, so if you think there's three levels going on, right? At any
Yeah.
moment. Because the analogy I was giving you was that of perception.
Hmm.
Because your brain has to take gazillions of bits of information that are happening around you and block out most of them and enter into a bandwidth of I'm going to take a pee now or whatever it is. Because otherwise you'd just be like someone on an acid trip on 8 hits of acid wandering around like lost, right? Because your brain would be so overwhelmed you couldn't concentrate, you wouldn't know what you're doing. So
So yeah, it sounds to me like what I'm hearing is I can take all my intense um, effort to do good daily and meditate and still think.
yeah, well, the thoughts are going to happen no matter what. In other
Right.
words, we can't really stop our thoughts most of the time.
So I'm not
Maybe,
trying to do that.
yeah,
I'm just trying
yeah,
to get into my heart and soul
yeah,
to
yeah.
and do the best I can with what I've got.
Yeah, here's another. This would be like a spiritual update thought in general that the ego is often maligned, right? People see it as, oh, he's got a big ego, you know. He has to get rid of his ego to get enlightened. Well, I think the more refined languaging around that is that you'll never get rid of your ego, really.
No, no,
It's a
you need it.
filter.
Yeah, you
You
need
need
it.
it, but you
Yeah,
can purify it, meaning
right.
you can make it so that your ego is not a problem and not a sticky weirdness. It's just very clear and present. And that way, your ego is fully functional and is not an issue. And the
But
thoughts
I
that
think
you,
if you just use the power of love, your ego is
yeah, is
right,
balanced. Yeah,
is balanced, you know. And if I if I look at people the way I look at people now is if I have a problem with you, I take it to the mirror and find out what's wrong with me.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
recognize that there's a
yeah,
self-reflecting universe
yeah,
and that
exactly.
you're at the center of it and that people on the outside causing trouble are another form of you that isn't resolved yet, right?
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
You
I hadn't
haven't
thought of that.
brought that part of yourself into balance yet,
So
right?
is that go for your shadow as well?
Well, that's what the shadow is. It's the stuff that
Yeah,
we haven't really we're
laid there.
unconscious of. Yeah, we're
There.
still there's only so much you can be conscious of at any given moment. And you might not notice the 2x4 that just hit those people. Oops, right? So then you would be like, oh, I just whacked these people. I need to not carry a 2x4 around. And so that would be consciousness, right? Unconscious God is everywhere. you and I are becoming more conscious God, I would say. Because what God wants, I believe, is to be able to be conscious on this level as you and I and still function as God. Meaning your agency is so clear that you're like Jesus, that whatever you do is a shining, bright, amazing, miraculous thing, because there's no difference between you and God in that moment, right? You might still have an ego, but that doesn't matter. God can just work right through you effortlessly if you're not a big blocked lump of unconsciousness. So the more
So
conscious,
if you're a pacifist and you're in a march and somebody throws a grenade right next to you, what do you do?
well, you'll probably be dead. But
No, if you have the choice of jumping on it, picking it up, and throwing it somewhere else,
oh yeah, well you would
or
do that. And if you're a pacifist, you throw it into the lake. And if you were like a mercenary, you throw it back at the idiot that threw it at you.
yeah,
But it also depends on the whether you need the defensive use of force. Because Marshall Rosenberg, the great pacifist, meaning the nonviolent communication genius guy, would say you might have to use the defensive use of force to save your life, right? And it's not a non that is still within the realm of nonviolent communication because that reality left you no other choice.
so it's okay to kill another person if it's your life's in danger.
Yeah, if he's going to kill you and it's more important that you live, right? Like,
Well, is it or isn't it?
well, you would know that. Yeah, you
Well,
would feel it's
I
good
mean,
to
if you
stay
were
alive and
Jesus,
you'd kill them.
would
Yeah,
if you were Jesus, would you?
I think so. But I think we have a fantasy of Jesus. Like, I think there's different, there's interesting schools of thought.
Well,
Like the Dalai Lama.
Would Peter do it?
Well, the Dalai Lama believes that you should hit the person back less hard and then that de-escalates it, right? He goes bang and then the Dalai Lama goes bang and then that like reduces the bang bang. Netanyahu believes, like Muktananda, my guru, you should hit them harder so they won't do it again. That's a very logical thing, right? It's like, and that's how a lot of things operate. The law. Oh, you fuck with us, we're putting you in jail for 30 years, right? They're gonna come bang. So the protective use of force is a very interesting line, right? Because where is it? Where do you cross it? Where is it like no longer protective? Where are you just being an aggressive idiot? Um, but I think if you're a conscious being, you will do the right thing at any given moment because you're balanced. So everything you do is attracting a balanced situation, right? If you're out of balance, a grenade could knock you out because you're not in balance enough to withstand that situation. You piss somebody off so much they threw a grenade at you.
So tell me why there's so much resistance to AI.
Well, because there's a perception that it's going to take over people's jobs and ways of operating because there it's already happening. A lot of these
No,
people.
it's no, it's yeah, sure it is, but I mean, God gave it to us, um, and and we're going into further and further abundance for all.
Yeah.
I mean, our problem, as I see it, that the issue is not um, a question of it being good or bad. It's good, and we really need to take care of the equity and agency imbalance in the whole thing, and that's what I'm working on.
Right, a nuclear bomb is the same, fits the same category, right? God gave you the nuclear bomb, but what are you going to do with it? That's where it gets interesting.
Well,
So,
I think it's not the bomb; it's nuclear fission. They already made the decision to make humans made the decision to make it into a bomb instead of for producing energy.
right, and so we still live under this fear that somebody
That's
some
our own
weirdo.
that's our own stupidity,
Well,
you
that's the
know.
unconscious God that the aliens are having to maybe make sure we don't blow ourselves up because we're that stupid. But
Yeah, that could be true. What do you think about them releasing all the files?
I think
Uh,
it's good. I think it's a
isn't that
self-reflecting universe. All these people should know what
yeah,
they're, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. If they're being an idiot, then they have to work it out, you know.
yeah.
I think in some cases you have to just make sure you're not causing more trouble than not because for the different reasons. But here's a thought I want to put in. Everything in this world can be good or bad. It just depends on who's understanding it that way. Just like
No,
karma.
that's well
Wait,
then how
karma,
could
let
it
me
how
finish. Let
could
me finish.
how
Let
could
me
love
finish.
be,
Let me finish.
be wrong?
Let me finish this, because otherwise you're not talking to me right. Karma is the same way. Karma is not good or bad. If you drop a rock on your foot, it's bad for you, but your enemy might be happy about it. So it's good for them. So karma is relative, just like anything. You could use it as a bomb, you could use it to heal, right? So it's really everything's good or bad. You could
No.
have a you could have a big piece of iron and somebody could kill you with it. That's bad. Or
So use the example of love then. Tell me how that's bad. Tell me how love is bad.
you could love you could love blowing up people.
That's not love.
Yeah, well, it is. They love doing it.
No, that's the person. That's
Okay,
a person. That's
the
this person being evil.
well, but they're loving stealing your stereo, but they did
That's
it.
not connected with God's not going to agree with that.
No, but they loving your stereo, so they want
No.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
want to do good work, so you're loving it. But somebody else might think it's bad because it took away their job.
No, can't buy that.
Well, which part can't you buy?
I can't buy that love can be bad.
Everyone's doing everything for love, but it's
No,
distorted.
that's for. That's not love.
No, those people love war. See,
Yeah,
you're missing that part of it.
that
You're missing
makes
that part. You don't see that they're loving the bad thing is love. They're just confused, but it's still love. It's a distortion, yes, but it's still they're doing it out of love
that's
because
not
they
the power of love.
it is the power of love. That's why they can blow you up. Because blowing you
Absolutely.
up puts you back in the astral world. It's not so bad.
Well, that's not the reason they're doing it.
No, but it's still bad for you. But it's love for them. They love killing these people, right? Trump loves blowing up Iranian bases. I don't know what you think love is then. It's not just Jesus level of unconditionality. It's conditioned love, but it's very conditioned, right? It's like,
No,
well, what does no mean here?
love is love, and there's nothing evil about
Then
it.
what do you love? I'm not saying love is evil. People still use love to create evil, meaning to do evil, but it's still love they're doing it. It's still the basis of their trajectory, is they think they're doing it because they like it.
But society doesn't consider that love.
Well, they might. Some people love Trump and some of the weird shit he does. So I don't know. It's like it's just
But that's not
distorted love.
love.
It's
That's he's
distorted love, but it's still
and
love.
no, can't buy that.
Well, it's all love. What isn't love?
Everything that's not love is not love.
What isn't love?
Acting evil,
Not even
doing
that's
doing
love. That's a
do,
form of love, acting
doing
evil.
wrong.
That's a form of love going wrong.
No,
That
yeah,
little child doesn't know what it's doing, setting your house on fire.
it's
It's
not
loving
love.
the matches, though.
No, no.
Well, I don't. You have a specific view of love that is based on duality at the moment.
That's your opinion.
Well,
Yeah.
it's actually it's my opinion, but it's an observation given how you're talking about it.
Well, it's still an opinion.
and it's an observation because it's a dual system. You're
Okay,
saying there's
so it's an
evil and
observation.
love are completely different. But I would argue that they're all connected through the infinite non-locality. They're all part of the thing. It's all a big quantum thing. You can't really separate them. Um, so from that perspective, it's duality versus unity, and which one you want to go with.
In your opinion.
Well, or philosophically speaking, whether it's my opinion or not. It's a philosophical premise.
No,
Anyway,
it's
I don't have to be right here. I don't need to make you wrong, but I think it's a good thought to see that people do things out of love, and even if they don't know what they're doing, they might
oh,
inadvertently,
that's for sure.
yeah, and they
I don't
inadvertently
question
cause
that.
you a huge
That
problem.
doesn't mean that it is love.
No, it is love. It's just that love has consequences because it's based on the situation. You know, some people love painting toxic paints, but it could kill your cat.
I don't know. Well, obviously um, we we have different opinions.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, I still love you.
Oh, that's not the issue. Yeah, I mean, it's not. There's no love
Yeah,
lost in being right or wrong. It's just we're trying to understand what it is love is, which is pretty hard to figure out. But I would argue that a criminal loves my guitar might come and take it, and he's acting out of love from his point of view. Right? Oh, I gotta have that Yamaha 260, otherwise my life is incomplete. Now, the problem was he took yours rather than buying it at the store. So that act had, I don't know if it's evil, it was just manipulative. And that maybe isn't the highest form of love, but it is a form of love. He loves your guitar.
excuse me for just a second.
Yeah.
The stress of the conversation has caused me to need some sugar.
Okay.
But it's not sugar. It's zero sugar, but it's
I've got to
addictive.
go in a minute now, actually. So, but we're pretty much. I got to call this other person who's in having emergency when I drive.
Thank you. Your ceiling looks pretty clean.
I'll be right with you.
Okay.
Just in the bathroom. Oh no, I'm talking to Tish on the thing. I had to take a little tinkle. Okay, so yeah, I've got your birthday, but you try to find your birth time, and then we can do your astrology chart better.
Okay, I'll text it to you.
Cool, cool.
Um,
Yeah, you don't have to believe a word I say.
well,
I'm
uh,
just there to stimulate you, right? To make you maybe think
yeah,
in
I
better
mean,
ways, even, or whatever,
um,
right?
you're my tutor, and just like ChatGPT, everything it says is not always true.
Right. Or at least for you, right? It might be true, but it might not resonate with you because your molecules are vibrating differently, which is totally fine, right? You're
But it
different.
also might be that you're not right. You know, there's a possibility that you're not
Nah.
right. You know.
I don't think I could heal like I do if I was wrong, to be honest. Because it wouldn't happen. How could I do that? It's way too complex a thing to just randomly do out of some stupid state. It's a highly perfected art form that is based on a whole perception of reality that it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's on in the ballpark to be able to pull that off. Probably more accurate than most people, right? Because they're not doing what I do. They have different things. Elon has a different genius, right? He can make rockets and robots. I can't do that. But he can't do what I do. So,
Remember, that might be your ego too.
nah, because I've been doing this so long, it's not in my ego at this point. It's just how it is.
You mean to have a different opinion about love?
No, no, that I'm pretty accurate with what I do, which is a very advanced art form that requires a lot of things being in a certain kind of
Oh,
alignment.
I've never questioned that.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's in other words, I'm saying why I'm more likely to be right about certain things is that I use those things and it heals people because it works. And it might be wrong from your point of view, but you're not doing what I'm doing. And so
I'm not saying anything's wrong that you're doing. I'm just talking about love.
right, but you were saying that I might be wrong or something. Or anyway,
No, I
I've got
just
to
meant the love thing.
oh,
I
well,
just,
but I'm saying I'm not wrong about that because that's how I
well,
heal people.
like I said, you could be wrong
Yeah, of
about
course.
that.
Right, but I don't
That's
think
it.
I am.
That's all.
Yeah, I don't think I am because I use that in my healing
Well,
and it
just
works.
remember that help, what you feel is what you feel.
No, but you're missing my point. Is that I use this in my healing and it works. And so it's more likely to be right than someone who's not doing what I do.
I'm not questioning what you do. I think everything that you do is wonderful.
Right, but my understanding of love is connected to that, is my point. Meaning, I think I have an accurate perception of how people work with love, and that's how I'm able to heal them, right?
Well, but that is one area that you're very good in, and obviously you know all that, but
Yeah,
you
it's
may
love
not.
based. It's all based on love. That's the whole
Right,
point. Yeah.
right.
It's like my whole business is.
I'm not questioning that at all.
Okay, I need to jump because I gotta brush my teeth, go to the dentist.
Okay, well, hopefully they won't take all your teeth out.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Talk to you
So
soon.
no, enjoy. And don't I there was no automatic payment this time, so maybe I don't know if that stopped.
No, probably I didn't. I don't know what happened.
Okay.